Hello and welcome to this afternoon's session of the GTLP episode 1. We're going to be talking about blockchain and remittance with Lee from CoinNewsExtra. And I'm now going to introduce Lee. So let's bring Lee to the screen. Hello, Lee. Thank you for joining us. Did you take yourself off mute? I think you're on mute. Mute. Yeah.
Unmute. Hello?
I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry for that.
That's okay. Would you like to just give a brief introduction of what you're involved in and the business that you're in?
Thank you very much for that kind of introduction. I really appreciate, and also the privilege to be on this amazing show. My name is Lee Ucheoma Ohaeri. I'm the CEO CoinNewsExtra and CNETv. So you know what it is. CoinNewsExtra, we are here to educate people. We are laying emphasis when it comes to cryptocurrency, blockchain, and fintech education. So we've been able to see how these things, blockchain most especially, is going to play a vital role in transforming Africa. So we are here. We've been able to do a lot of things in educating not only the general public, also educating the fintech sector and the regulators. So we've been able to organize a lot of conferences even during the COVID last year. So we were able to have the first CBDC, that's Central Bank Digital Currency conference with total focus in Africa last year, October. So it was a program that gathered a lot of people in the banking and the central banking sector to come discussing CBDC. That's why you could see these days our CBDC is making wave in Africa, and nations are looking towards that direction. So this is what we are doing. We launched CNETv, which is the latest, the first and of its kind in this sector. It is a cryptocurrency, blockchain, and fintech TV, 24 hours. It's streaming to educate people, to bring you interviews, educations, and all the things that are happening in this sector when it comes to blockchain, cryptocurrency, and fintech in Africa and the rest of the world. This is what we are doing, and we are here. And thank you once again for giving me the platform.
Thank you so much, Lee, for that fantastic introduction. It's really amazing to see that you're really striding and making a lot of waves in Africa with this blockchain innovation. I'm just going to give a brief overview about the topic of that we're going to be discussing today. So in regards to obviously blockchain and remittance, every year hundreds of billions of dollars are transferred internationally by businesses and individuals who have immigrated from their home countries, and cross-border transfers are likely to experience double-digit annual growth rates over the next few years. Remittances reached a record high in 2018, according to the World Bank. In a press release published in August 2019, the bank said officially that annual remittance had a record of 529 billion during that year. That was a 9.6 increase on the previous record, which was a high of 483 billion in 2017. Meanwhile, total global remittances, which include flows to high-income countries, claim to have a 689 billion from 633 billion in 2017. The World Bank found that banks were the most expensive remittance channels, charging an average fee of 11% in the first quarter of 2019. Post offices were the next most expensive, costing more than 7%. In its global payments record 2019, consulting firm KPMG estimated the size of business-to-business, B2B, cross-border payments to be as much as 15.5 trillion during 2018, a 5% plus growth rate on the previous year. It's calculated that revenues received from global payments amounted to 1.9 trillion in 2018 and were 6% higher than the past year. So you can imagine these figures are very proportionate in their size and their growth over the years. So now we're going to talk about how blockchain can influence that. And obviously Lee, our expert here today, is going to give us a bit more information and background in regards to this, this new infrastructure. So first, I'd like to ask you, Lee, how does blockchain help in payments? Over to you, Lee.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that question. So how blockchain is going to help in payment? So it's a very beautiful question there. So I would like to, first of all, look at Africa. When it comes to remittance, everything, majority, the percentage, you've been able to read out some of the stats about remittance, and you see that most of them are coming from Africa. So Africa is the home to remittance, because what are the reasons why this is happening? When you look at remittance in other part of the world, if you look at Asia, it's just 5 point something. You look at Europe, 3 point something. If you look at Africa, Africa has the highest number, over 10% of the remittance. Why is it like that? A lot of Africans are migrants to different parts of the world, and they make a payment back home here in Africa. So a lot of people who, there is this mindset that we have in Africa. We believe that we don't forget home, even though we are outside home. We also believe that we are home. So we send in some things to our families over here in Africa. So that's why you see a lot of remittance happening in Africa. And the funny aspect of it is that the remittance that are occurring in Africa is coming with high transaction fees. If you want to make some transactions from Europe or Asia or America to Africa, so the transaction fee is very high, and it's very funny, or is a kind of surprise to me to know that those remittances that are occurring in Africa is coming with high rates compared to their other counterparts in other parts of the world. So if you look at the stat as well, you see that most of the remittances that are occurring with the transaction fee, Africa has about 11%, or around 10 to 11% of any money you are sending back home. And you look at Asia, Asia has about 3%. With Asia, there is not much remittance happening there. And you look at Europe, they have like 5%. So these are the funny aspect of it. And if you look at blockchain technology, when you look at blockchain, you see that blockchain is going to play a very vital role when it comes to remittance in Africa. Apart from the efficiency in transaction, transparency in transaction, the trust that is bringing, taking trust out of the middleman to the people sharing the trust and making it more reliable. You see that it's cutting transaction fee, which is the major challenge there when it comes to sending money, remittance or payment. So if you imagine when you are sending $100 back to Nigeria, and you are going to pay like $10 or $11 to make that remittance, you've been able to cut that money. And this is why you see, if you look at the stats when it comes to Bitcoin transaction, you see that most of the stats, the top countries there are countries from Africa. You look at Nigeria, you look at South Africa, you look at Kenya. These people are really doing a lot of remittance. So it's going to help us the way things are being done. And when it comes to remittance in Africa, I'm so much enthusiastic about Africa because I've been able to make some studies about what is really happening. And that's why we came up with this platform to enlighten people how they will leverage blockchain and cryptocurrency to make transaction. And look at what it's going to do. We are talking about that the world is a global village. It's bringing us together. So the way you make payments, the way you chat, when you're chatting with your family, you don't, before you see that you send letters, you send through post office, before email came and you could now send through email. Now there is a chat platform where you'll be able to chat directly with your loved ones anywhere, no matter where they are around the world. This is what blockchain brought to us through blockchain cryptocurrency, where you could send transaction just a few seconds, you receive it just the way you chat with family. So it's going to transform the way payment and remittance happens in Africa.
Thank you so much for that lengthy answer. I actually haven't sent you this question, so I feel bad. I just want to pop this question in. So you talked about obviously largely the African continent's obviously, taking on the blockchain innovation and obviously, receiving it very well. Do you think that it will help in regards to the transparency in payments in Africa?
Yes, I so much believe that it's going to bring, what blockchain is all about is about transparency. So, and most of us here in Africa, I know it's common around the world, we don't trust our leaders. We don't trust some of these institutions, even our financial institutions. We don't really trust them, but we don't have any option other than to go with what they present to us. But now there is an option. So it's going to be creating transparency. If you see the nature of blockchain technology, every transactions that occurs on the blockchain is recorded, and you cannot erase it. You cannot tamper it. That's why I say blockchain is tamper-proof. So it's transparent. So every transaction that goes on the blockchain network is transparent. Everyone could see it. And it's even when some of these regulators or financial institutions, traditional financial institutions comes to, sometimes they come to talk about blockchain when it comes to cryptocurrency. When you're talking about financial sector, when it comes to blockchain, they started with cryptocurrencies. So some of them come up to say that is for terrorism financing, money laundering, and all the rest of them. But you see that with blockchain, when it comes to cryptocurrency, you see there is transparency. If I send you money, everyone could see the transaction details, how this happens, when I sent the money, if you have received the money. Sometimes when you send money to someone could deny that he or she has not received the money. Some people could lie that they have already sent money, why they have not sent it. With blockchain, you could just scan the transaction ID. You'll be able to see the transaction. Everyone could see it to see how. So it's very transparent, and it brings trust into the system. So you trust no one, but you trust everybody. That's the slogan I like. You trust no one, but you trust everybody. So imagine, because it's transparent, everyone, you cannot hack the blockchain. It's 99% tamper-proof. So it has brought transparency to the payment and remittance sector, not only in Africa, but around the globe.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Lee. Our next question today is, will blockchain disrupt the traditional banking systems? So obviously, we know our traditional banking systems are as they are now. So you talked about CBDC, I think, when you were, explaining about the work that you're doing. Do you believe that banks will actually adopt blockchain as an infrastructure, or do you believe that it would actually, wipe out the traditional banking system?
That's an amazing question. A lot of discussion have been coming when it comes to these particular questions. Initially, most of these bankers or banking institutions, they thought that cryptocurrency and blockchain is going to displace them. But that's a total lie. There's no such thing. It's coming to enhance the way things are done in the financial sector. So you could see some banks now are making use of repo platform to send money between different banks. This is what is going to, so it's not going to displace the traditional banking sector. It's going to be able to enhance the way they do it. So a lot of people have been asking questions, is it going to display, maybe when it displaces this sector, there's going to be job loss, bankers are going to lose their job, a lot of them. No, it's just like when the era of, let me just use ATM, the automated teller machine came out. A lot of questions was asked. Even when the internet came out, a lot of questions were asked. So it's a normal, it's a human nature to be, something you don't really know. You are scared of it. So it's going to transform the way things are done in this financial sector, but it's going to bring disruption. It is not going to displace the banking sector. So it's for them to be able to apply blockchain in the way they do things. Since it is transparent, it shows more transparency in the system. It aids them in doing the things they do. So talking about CBDC is another way central banks of nations are going to be implementing or experimenting or using blockchain technology. You know that over here in Nigeria, you see that a Nigerian central bank is looking towards a central bank digital currency. That was they are going to be launching it. Our independence here in Nigeria is 1st of October. So they're going to be launching their CBDC on that very day. So it's going to be a pilot test one, because that's when they are launching it. So you see that they will be making this call that Africa should not sit by the sideline observing while other nations are embracing and experimenting about this new technology. So CBDC is a very welcome one. It depends on how they are going to go about it. Are they going to put it on the open blockchain so that it will be transparent, or is it going to be a closed blockchain where they will also manipulate it the normal way? But if it is on the open blockchain where everyone could be able to see it, is a very good one. So I see it as a way of enhancing the way things are done in the financial sector, but not displacing them.
Thank you, Lee. I know this question is not in the questions that I gave you beforehand as well, but I wanted to ask you, do you believe that obviously, you know, the large following of, you know, crypto miners or, you know, crypto followers, they will see as, you know, it's no longer going to be a decentralized system. It becomes a centralized system. So it actually takes out the whole essence of what blockchain is.
I didn't get the question. Could you repeat it, please?
So a lot of like you know, blockchain followers, the blockchain community, they value the decentralized aspects of blockchain. So it becoming a centralized aspect within, you know, a banking system. Do you think that this would also void the community that has, you know, been growing, you know, exponentially over the years?
Oh, are you talking about the CBDC? Or are you talking about
the community that we have now that follow, you know, the cryptocurrency or the blockchain innovation? Do you think that they would, you know, they wouldn't like the fact that now it's becoming a centralized thing? Because obviously the whole value of the blockchain was the fact that it has this decentralized nature, right? There's no centralized body that actually owns it. So if it becomes, you know, within a banking, you know, infrastructure, do you believe that that will take out the essence of the decentralization?
No, I don't believe so. It's not going to take it out because when you talk about blockchain and you talk about its application in the financial sector, you talk about cryptocurrency, and you see many companies are embracing this sector. Even many big companies, institutional investors are coming in. So there should be a bit of regulation. So it's not about, I always advocate that regulation should come in so that I may have good intentions for the system, but there are also bad players in the system. That's how it is around every sector. That's human nature. So a bit of regulation will control the way things are done. But what I advocate is that regulators should come with some regulations that will not hamper or kill innovation. So they should come with regulation that is ecosystem friendly, that will accommodate more innovations in the ecosystem. So when you talk about centralization, the system has already been placed is about decentralized ecosystem. So, you know, the blockchain sector, when you talk about some nations banning crypto transactions, prohibitions by financial institutions, you see that the normal nature of blockchain cryptocurrency was for a pay-to-pay transaction when it comes to cryptocurrencies. And when you talk about blockchain, it applies to every sector. It's not only in cryptocurrency, but cryptocurrency is the one that people know. So blockchain cut across different sectors, and it creates transparency. As long as you are using a blockchain network, it is transparent and decentralized. Hello?
I lost you for a second there. So we'll go on to our next question. So how does blockchain reduce transaction costs?
So when it talks about blockchain and transaction costs, like I said earlier on, the high rate of charges when it comes to remittance, sending money back to anywhere, not only in Africa, you see that there are some percentage you pay when it comes to transferring money. So blockchain can cut these transaction fees, because some of these institutions, there are procedures to send the money, and there are different players who take their cuts in those transaction bits. Because it's a blockchain, when something is on the blockchain network, when it's just like, let me cite an example. Just when you're sending a letter, you're going to be waybilling the letter. So there are going to be charges for waybilling those letters to its destinations. But nobody is going to charge you for sending an email. You see that the email is free. You see that the chat is free. Because it's only your data. You just need an internet network to be able to send these messages. So that's how it is. For example, let me use cryptocurrency. When I'm sending money to cryptocurrency, there are some, if you use something like Litecoin, if you use, I know people have been complaining about Ethereum high transaction fee, but there are other, if you use Repo, you see that these transactions are fees are in cents. So if it doesn't, even if you're sending $1 million, you're going to be paying that transaction fee of as maybe 1 cent or thereabout. It's no longer going to be by percentage. So this is a way it's cutting costs for people who are sending money. And that's why you see the transaction, like I said earlier on, the transaction volumes are coming from Africa because these people are the people making this remittance. We are number one when it comes to remittance, transferring money. It's Africa that holds that position, number one position. So that's why these volumes are coming through cryptocurrencies. So with the application of blockchain infrastructure in any payment sector, it's going to cut costs. So it's going to be a direct transaction. You're sending to your account directly. So just like it's just a crypto wallet, even with the CBDC that nations are looking like, we are in a conversation with the Central Bank of Nigeria when they were having a meeting with the stakeholders in Nigeria. So it's going to be a wallet. The CBDC is going to have its own wallet. It's not going to be a banking app. It's going to be a wallet. And so I believe the transactions are going to be very less. So this is how it's going to be reducing the transaction fees, which is a very big challenge when it comes to sending money. Imagine when you're sending a bigger amount. I made an example earlier on with $100. Imagine when you're sending something like 100,000 and you're paying 10%. So you're going to be sending 10% of 100,000. That means you're going to be paying 5 million naira, or let me say you're going to be paying $10,000 to make a transaction that when you use blockchain or cryptocurrency is going to be costing you cents or at most $1. So this is how it's going to be able to reduce transaction costs when it comes to remittance.
Thank you, Lee. I'm actually learning a lot from our conversation this afternoon, and you're giving us a lot of insight. So I really appreciate that. So in regards to obviously blockchain, you talked about how it was used in banking. I know that was our next question, and so I'm going to go into like the fifth question, which is, can blockchain be hacked? So you talked about obviously the way that it validates itself, but can it actually be hacked? I think this is a lot of problems with why people are not quick to adopt blockchain straight away. Can it be hacked, Lee?
Yeah, well, blockchain cannot be hacked as long as it's a blockchain. So there are, when you see the cases of hack in the crypto space, is mostly exchanges. We have centralized exchanges. We have decentralized exchanges. So it's mostly centralized exchanges. A centralized exchanges is just normal a platform hosted on a centralized network. So when it comes to blockchain, it's 99%. You cannot say something is 100%. So it's 99% hack proof. So this is how it is. There are other ways people exploit some things. You talk about 51% attack and all the rest of them. But this is not the way that you're going to be saying that blockchain is hackable. It's not hackable. So for now, blockchain is 99% hack proof and it's safe and transparent.
I got myself on mute. Thank you so much for that answer, Lee. So our next question is, what is the best blockchain company currently? So obviously I know that you do a lot of work with blockchain companies and obviously a lot of interviews. So can you give us, even if it's not one, a few blockchain companies that people maybe should look into?
Yeah. There are a lot of blockchain companies out there doing amazing things. So when you talk about blockchain companies, what do you have in mind? Are you talking about blockchain companies or companies that are applying blockchain? Are you talking about cryptocurrency exchanges? Are you talking about a blockchain remittance company? So there are a lot of them out there, blockchain. But what you should be able to check is there are many companies out there. I'm not going to be saying specifically this is the best blockchain. I'm going to so if I name some and I didn't name the other, it's going to be like so. But what I know is there are a lot of blockchain platforms, but beware of some platforms that I'll tell you that they use, because they see that people are looking, blockchain, how will I say, is let me use the word, a buzzword. So people are now seeing that it's gaining media traction. So they just looking way out to tell you that they are making use of, they are a blockchain company, but actually they are not blockchain companies. So they are just trying to get themselves involved. But there are a lot of blockchain companies doing amazing things out there when it comes to remittance, when it comes to cryptocurrency exchange, and all the rest of them. But I'm not going to be mentioning any of them right now.
Thank you, Lee. So we've come to our last question. How does blockchain impact global payments and remittances? So I know you kind of touched on it, but is there anything else you want to add? In terms of the
blockchain. Okay, blockchain is going to be changing things, how businesses are going to be done. So, when you talk about remittance, you also talk about business, because remittance mostly is exchange of goods and services, and you will get your reward. So when you talk about it, so it's going to be changing the way businesses are being done. So it's going to be bringing trust into if you look at different organizations, they are looking at the World Trade Organization. They also are opening up a blockchain session where they'll be able to study about blockchain. And also we are looking to be their media partner as well on that. So a lot of organizations, most especially financial organizations, are looking towards that. So it's going to be changing the way we interact. When you talk about the evolution of money, how things have been doing, how money have been evolving from different stages. Now that we got into a digital stage, the actual digital stage. So it's going to be bringing trust. So this is the most important thing when it comes to payment, when it comes to businesses, when it comes to interaction between human beings, is trust in every sector of life. What we are looking at is trust, even in relationship. I wish blockchain can be applied in the relationship, but that's by the way. But it's going to be bringing trust. For the first time, we are going to be trusting the whole people, not only one person. You're going to be trusting everybody. So it's going to be bringing trust, because trust has been a very big issue when it comes to businesses, the way we interact. So when it comes to payment, it's going to bring trust. And also it's going to eliminate the certain aspect of middleman. So because there is what we call smart contract. So it's a smart contract is if you are doing business, we could be able to key it into the blockchain and say, okay, if you send what you promised to do, it's just a computer programming that executes what it has been programmed for. So if Mr. A is sending $100 to receive this other goods from you, so once he puts the $100, the smart contract recognizes it and sends it the reward for that $100. Unlike when you give it to the middleman will not be able to play that role. So it's going to be eliminating some certain aspect of middleman, which has also been a challenge when you talk about trust. So these are few ways. There are many other ways that blockchain is going to be transforming remittance and payment sector, and also businesses. So for the first time, the challenge that we are having with trust has been eliminated.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lee. So just going back to you, just to round up obviously today's session. So what can we expect from CoinNewsExtra in the next coming weeks? Is there anything in specifically that you would like to promote today for people to look out for?
Yes, we have a dedicated program. We call it Banks and Blockchain. It's a very interesting program that comes up every weekday. That's 1 p.m. West African time on CNETv. So it's a 30 minutes program. We have an anchor who is a banking expert who handles that, who anchors that particular program. And he talks about how banks and payment platforms or sector could be able to apply a blockchain. So it's a series that he comes up with every week, talking about how this, like something like we've been able to talk about. So if you feel you want to understand more about how to enhance, how blockchain can enhance this sector, the financial sector, the banking sector, I feel you should be able to tune to that program, 1 p.m. West African time, every Thursday. So it's a very beautiful question. And you can only watch that program live on CNETv. So you can download CNETv. It's available on iOS and Google Play Store. So just search for CNETv, you'll be able to download it. Or you go straight to our website, www.cnetv.io, to download the app. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Lee. And thank you for our audience. Thank you for having time today to listen to Lee, our expert in blockchain and remittance. And I really appreciate your insights that you shared today, especially on a Friday afternoon. So thank you, Lee. And I hope you have a lovely weekend. And thank you, everybody. Take care now.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.